Okay, welcome back to another episode of Over the Shoulder. Before we get started, you know what we gotta do. We gotta like, we gotta comment, we gotta subscribe, we gotta share. Who do you want to see sitting on this opposite seat? As for today, I got someone like very special. Reason I say he's very special is because when we met, I didn't realize the type of absolute gem of a man that he is. We had worked on several different projects, and we had talked and chopped it up. Obviously, there was a good vibe between us. But on this project that we're going to be speaking of today, I was like, oh, you built different. Wow. So without further ado, man, I got to introduce the AD of a lot of memories, Brian.
What's going on, man?
Super Groovy Productions.
Enoch, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I
appreciate you having me.
Of course, man. Okay, so I've been dying to ask you this question.
All right, what's up?
Why Super Groovy Productions? Why the name?
Oh, man. Okay, so Groovy is a nickname that I got in college.
Okay.
So, yeah, I was, just lived with it for a few years. And when I was launching the production company and thinking that I want to take this to the next level, I'm gonna go bigger, full productions, films, all of that. Something in my head was like, we're taking this to the next level. We're going super with it. So I put super in front of the groovy. You know what I'm saying? I was partially inspired by Future. Super Future.
Okay, real
astronaut. So super groovy. Just taking it to the next level.
Okay. Because when I saw the brand's aesthetic, and then I saw Super Groovy, because the brand's aesthetic feels very nostalgic. We are people in the 70s, 80s making movies and films because we love to make movies and films. We're gonna put the art and the quality, and to me, it comes over with all the brand's messaging. It comes over with all the coloring. Even when you told me, I think it was what your favorite format shoots in 4/3.
Yeah.
And so I was okay. When you started saying stuff like that, I was like, okay, he really does do this.
Absolutely. I mean, aside from the personal with the whole nicknaming thing, I just gravitate towards things that feel classic, I guess you could say, that feel authentic. I love films from the 70s, Taxi Driver, Rocky, the aesthetic that you get from watching those that were filmed on that old film, celluloid film type. And, I wanted my brand to represent that and feel like a classic film.
Gotcha. Okay, so budget is no option. You're automatically gonna do film.
Yeah.
Every single time?
Yeah.
Never do digital. You're not a digital man at all.
I wouldn't say that. I would, because I think some beautiful things happen with the format. Growing up in my heyday of going to the movie theater, I can vividly remember the switch from theaters having digital, having film projection to digital projection. So around that 2005, where all the AMCs just got that digital projector in there, and things got cleaner. So I never say never, but something about that texture on that film, man, I guess it depends on the project. We'll go with that. Project by project.
Yeah.
I would love to get a couple 35 millimeters, a couple 16 millimeter films under my belt first, and then we'll see about the digital.
Okay. Because again, at this point, being a small production company myself, digital is obviously what we're doing. Film is expensive, so even just seeing the great quality stuff. Christopher Nolan always on film. Obviously Sinners, Ryan Coogler loves film. I've thought about it. It just really, I would say, for me, it just seems as of where I'm at right now, so intimidating.
Yeah, for sure. You got to have some people that know what they're doing behind it. As much as I love it, I don't know what I would be doing with it right now.
I have no idea.
But I just know it speaks to me. So I'm like, we gotta have it. But for sure, like you said, right now with the budgets we got, we're gonna keep rocking with this film emulation.
Exactly, exactly as possible. I can throw some grain in it.
Yeah, we're gonna toss some grain on there and get you the feeling, but eventually we got to get that real thing.
You got to get the real thing. Okay. So one of my new goals in life is I gotta make a classic film with Brian shot on film.
Absolutely.
We're gonna have other mini classic film, but at least one of them has
at least
to be
one got to be on film.
Okay, yeah. I got it. Okay, so I hit you up, a month ago, and I said, hey, got this idea, want to enter into the 48-hour film festival.
Right.
You down?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so what were your thoughts when I hit you up about that?
Oh, it was a no brainer for me. Having already worked with you before, I've known how you work. Um, Ideally, I already had a sense of how this is going to go. I know that you are efficient when it comes to being on set and how things get done. So that was never a doubt in my mind that we weren't going to get it done in 48 hours. It was everything else around it that actually made me more excited because I'm like, this is a challenge. I've heard of the 48 before, but I had never like had any forward intentions to enter myself. So this was all, it was like, this is perfect timing. Like, let's do it. Like, I'm familiar with how you work. I'm familiar with what this is. Complete trust in you that you would assemble the team behind you that would get this done, which you did. And yeah, I was excited. So made sure I had those dates cleared in my schedule when you hit me up. Like, yeah, we can really make this happen.
Okay, so all right, so me and you, I would first of all, I had appreciated it because they give us a prompt that Friday,
right?
And then we're all in the room just waiting for really 2 hours watching all this. You were the person who came with me to get the prompt to like we both heard what we were gonna have to make at the same time, and then we had to relay it to everyone else. So I appreciate you for just being there because you know to a certain extent I was like if I would have been by myself I don't know what I would have done.
Yeah.
But when you hear the prompts and we picked out single room and action adventure, what were the thoughts that were just going through your head?
Oh man. Initially the gears just started turning because we were in there like just spitballing. This is the first thing that came to our mind. So the gears started turning. Any first thoughts came to mind was just coming out the mouth. Like, hey, what if we did this? What if we did this? We had to like tell each other, hey, let's chill a little bit. We got people around, they might be listening. So let's save this till we get back to the house. And then we got back to the house, obviously not to jump too far ahead in the story, but by that time it was that drive over gave that time to start cooking and really sitting with, okay, what is a single room film? What is an action adventure film? You know, they say it can be one or the other or both. So the gears are already turning like, do we do just a single room film? Do we lean into this being an action adventure? How do we combine this two? Can't we combine these two? So it was just a lot of gears turning initially because everything is happening so fast. And you don't realize when you get that prompt, like the timer's on. So like it's happening fast from the jump. So I felt the rush. I felt the vibe of the next 48 hours starting in that moment.
That ticking, yeah. And then you gave, when we were in that room, you were like, you said dolls. And you gave that, like, when you said that, like, to me, I was, I felt like I was creating right here. But as soon as you said that, I went right here. And I was like, okay, dolls. I'm like, okay, we can look at childhood. The best thing to look at childhood is childhood trauma. Let's get some adults. Let me see if we can get a child. I was like, okay, but dolls. I'm like playing with dolls. I'm like,
Yeah.
And then literally I'm like, low-key Masterson.
Yeah.
That sounds British to me. I'm like, Stanley just had this Bridgerton outfit.
Which was so clutch.
Yeah, I literally called him up on the drive from there to my house. I'm like, Stanley, you still got your Bridgerton outfit. And he was like, you know it. I was like, all right, cool. Pull it out of storage pretty much. Then I called Coruscant. I was like, Coruscant, I need set design. I need you to make a doll that looks like Stanley in his Bridgerton outfit. I'm gonna have Stanley shoot you an image of him with the doll, and we're gonna get this rolling. Like
this is all within the first hour.
This is me driving. No, this is me literally on my phone because all of you guys are in like my favorites. It's easy for me to just click my screen and be like, all right, let me call Brian, let me call. And so I'm literally setting all this up, and I'm like, hey, even if we get and we change up these ideas, I feel like in my mind, I'm like, I feel like these are good ideas. I feel like these are like, for me, every time I'm making a film, not only do I want to make a film, even if it's a comedy, I want it to be a comedy that's like, it's relatable in a way to where you can walk out. It's not even about being a better person, but walk out with like something like, let me question like my own growth, my own, what am I trying to do? Like, what am I trying to be? So that's big. Even when we did the read files, like that's like, again, photographers, videographers, I want them to feel seen. I wanted like clients to be like, oh, maybe I am tripping a little bit.
A little bit much.
But then I also wanted people to recognize that, like, I feel like, in the film space with directors, photographers, videographers, gaffers, all these people, because we're all like usually independent contracts. We might have our own production company, but we're not like the 9 to 5 where like you're working for a person. So people see us as individuals instead of a business.
Right.
And they try to treat us like they're treating another individual. And I'm like, you still have to recognize that all the laws of business, still apply to me.
Right. Yeah.
And so that was like one of the big things that I was trying to get over for Reef. Like he has his own stuff going through, and I needed the clients and stuff to recognize that. So again, so just digressing from that to like a lot of memories. So I think about those type of stories, like how do I make it to where even someone who isn't a photographer feel like this? So someone, and we all have childhood trauma. Like there's no perfect parent, so that's always going to be a thing. When you see dolls, and you're going to think of typically a little girl playing with dolls. So I'm like, okay, cool. What kind of trauma could a girl have with her little dolls? And then I love the idea of a girl dad, specifically in this time age. I feel like it's very important to see Black fathers.
Absolutely.
So I love seeing like Black fathers being able to be vulnerable and smile and play with their kids, like almost like allowing your child to bring out the Black boy joy. So like I was like, okay, I really, in my mind, I was like, I really want to see that. I was like, when we get to the house, I was like, I'm open to all like this. Like in my mind, I was like, I'm open to all of this, but it has to be better than this.
Yeah.
Like, because in my mind, I already saw it. I was like, oh, hey, Stanley, I can see him. Like, I was like, man, like, we can make this happen. I feel like it's going to be such a beautiful film that touches people.
This is very much what it looked like when we were spitballing ideas for those first 4 hours. This is how it was going, like the conversations behind it, but like the depth of it, I think is important because I think film is a medium like to tell these universal stories. And it's like, I'm always looking like, what's the intention behind it? What's the purpose of this? Like, why does this need to exist? Like, even if it is for a 48-hour film challenge, or you could think about it like, oh, it's not that deep. Like we just making something, but like also like, well, I mean, if you have an opportunity to use this camera and his stories to like tell something or like relate to somebody or like touch somebody, then like, let's go ahead and see how far we can take it. So I think that's something that we definitely were cognizant of when we were spitballing ideas. And then the other thing that was flying through my mind, especially within that first couple hours, was like not limiting the thoughts to what is possible, but like possible with budgets and restraints and stuff, but also what can we work with what we have at our disposal, where we won't have to go too far out there to get something that we can't get quickly, because we only have so much time to make this. So single room film, I'm thinking about your crib, you know what I'm saying? I'm thinking about what room can we clean out at your crib, but then also like how big of an idea can we tell in the room, you know what I'm saying? Like, so like, let's bring in the dolls. Cool. Like, what's the purpose of the dolls? Like, how big does it go? Like, are they just literal dolls, or like, what the film turns into? So it's like, cool. How big can we go with this concept? But then also, what do we have to work with? So those are some of the things that was just flying through on my mind those first couple hours. And those first few hours was a rush, man.
They were. It felt good. When I had to walk up there and grab the genre, I was like, man, this really makes or break it.
Yeah.
Like we get like Western music
because it was some of them where like, I don't want that.
Yeah, it was like
if you get
Warlocks.
It, you're gonna.
I was like, I mean, we would have made it do something,
made it happen, but also like prosthetics, like makeup. What do we?
I was like, okay, budget just doubled easily.
It's not like we pulled up with like scripts already to just pull from the cycle and like, I got this idea on the tongue. Like we crafted and wrote a lot of memories in like 5 hours. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like from scratch. We had no jumping off point until we got that prompt. So that's a lot to
it was a lot. I mean, it really was. And I know one thing that I always, there's like a twofold that whenever I decide I want to tell a story. Number one, it was the intentionality of the story. Like I always want the story to, again, be something that helps. I don't necessarily want to say move the audience forward, but like make the audience question if the direction they're going in is correct for them. If it is, cool. I just like the fact that you question it. If it's not, are you going to make that change? But then number two, something that doesn't necessarily have to deal with the film, I always want to make sure like the talent and the crew, like we build something on set. Like I always want people to have a good time when we're on. And when you enter into a mountaintop studio set, I want it to be a good time. I want it to be camaraderie. I love that so many people who I work with have now become friends.
Yeah.
I love that it's a great feeling. I love that I see them literally on different projects together. Like they were working with this actor, actress, and now they're on their film. Yeah. Or you see two people for me, it's like, I love that everyone can kind of spread their wings and fly in the different directions. We can kind of come back to the same nest when we want to, and then we can leave and go off and just like, that's really important for me. I always want these to feel fun. I wanted to feel like, we we could be anywhere in the world, but we really do choose to be here. Like we really want to be here. We want to make something. I feel like that leads to the intentions of the story at the same time, because we're all coming in with these like same like, hey, we about to we about to make some magic.
This is what we're doing, but it's also like, you know, you don't want your set to feel stuffy and like too intense. Like at the end of the day, man, it's fun. Like we making films. We're not you know, doing open heart surgery, you know, saving lives. Like we're making film, making entertainment. So, you know, take a step back, breathe. We're still gonna do something good and intentional, but like also like work with the people around you, you know, get to know these people that you're working with.
Exactly.
And then, you know, you got, like I said before, you got the talent to really bring these like-minded individuals and like talented creatives together for a common goal. And like everybody always gels and works well together on Mountaintop Studios projects.
Well, I do have like a small testing phase. I don't necessarily tell people until they make it through the testing phase. But like even if I'm working with an actor or a model, I say first thing I'll try to do with them, like I shoot all these different brands. I was like, let me do a shoot with you. Like, hey, I got this brand, you know, let me see if you're on time, if you're punctual, were you weird when we did, like, I'm looking at all those things. Cause you know, when I bring you onto these sets, like to me, that's when it's, you know,
you have to,
yeah.
Especially when, you know, some of these projects and the scale of some of these projects, you can't really do some unvetted testing. Like some of this stuff is not testing ground to be like, can we work together? Are you a cool person? Like,
are you cool? Do you get along with certain people? Like, and then even for like crew, I do the same. Like I'll do like little small iterations of like, let's see, like, you know, again, it's nothing like me and you could have not vibed. Not because any fault of yours or mine, just maybe we're just not. We're cut from two different sides of the coin.
It happens.
And it happens. So it's like, situation. I know. Let me see. What's the first project we met before Westbrook? What did we meet? What was the first project we met on?
Was Westbrook not the first one?
Was Westbrook not the first?
I'm pretty sure it was.
It was Westbrook. Okay, okay, bet it was Westbrook. So Westbrook, it was like, okay, you were ADing and I was DPing on that one. And just seeing like first and foremost, I like to look at where is your level of knowledge at, just from you know, proper set behavior and just knowing like different film stuff. And it was like, oh, like, okay, this man's sharp. Like I like again, it's like he's saying stuff that I don't even know. Like maybe I need to step up my game and just seeing it in very, then like, okay, cool. Everything feels natural. It feels very easy to work with. I feel like I can talk to you and I hope you feel like you can talk to me. So I'm like, okay, cool. So Westbrook, all right, bet. Then after Westbrook, I'm like, hey, I'm actually doing my series. And I'm like, first of all, I sent you a script. Like, let me see what you rocking with. You actually rock with I did.
Like a couple weeks apart. This happened very quickly.
Yeah. And I was like, that was me. Okay, cool. Then you hit me back with like some, hey, I really like this and this character and all this kind of stuff. And you didn't just say it was good. You gave me feedback. So again, I'm like, okay, I'm seeing into his mindset and the way you're talking. I'm like, you're talking film. All right, cool. I like this. So now I was like, okay, let me just see, you know, we have definitely different few positions up here. Let me see where it comes. And you just really came on saying you were a Swiss Army knife. You did whatever needed to be done. And for me, I like people like that because that's the type of person I've always been. So I'm the type, like, again, on a lot of memories, you saw me, you need, you want, I like, give me the boom. Like, there's the ego behind all this stuff. Like, I'll do the scripty, I'll go grab the food, I'll go get people water on set. Like, it doesn't.
I mean, I pulled up and just followed your lead because I saw you, the OG Swiss Army knife already on your own project. I'm like, I'm seeing how you move. Like you're directing, you DPing, like you moving. You're not afraid to get in the field and move some like equipment around here and there. Like everything was running off the vision. You working with actors. You find time to put the camera down and like really do some scene work, and then pick the camera up and frame the shot. And I'm like, you using this color choice and this color choice, and I'm like, where can I help out? You need me to hold a boom or something, bro? Like, let me just take some of the load off of you because you are like working. So yeah, I just caught the vibe that first day. It was like, this is how you moving on set. This is it set. Let me see where I can provide some help. So.
And then now, so I started trusting you when you hit me up. He's like, hey, I got a project with SG who also was a part of this. And then it was like, hey, I'll show up for that. Because again, when it starts becoming an ecosystem, I like to show up for my friends when I have that, especially when they ask for a favor. Like, you know, again, this is very much so a collaborative medium. Like, there's always gonna be time where you ask for a favor, you need to lend a favor, and so. But then when we got a lot of memories, it's again, I had seen, to me, I feel like a boxed in version of Brian. Like, you know, you had just you walked into these spaces and it was like, hey, I can fulfill a role.
Yeah.
But then it's like for 48 hours, it's like, we don't even know what the roles are being fulfilled and
Right.
stuff. So I really was able to like even just starting getting the prompt
Mhm.
and then just seeing the writing process, then actually seeing you on set. I'm like, when I say, oh, this is he built different. Like,
yeah,
you know,
I appreciate that. I mean, like that's the roadmap that just going off of the roadmap that you set in that initial text asking for the team for 48 hours. You know, he's broken up into 4 roles. Like, what part do you want to be on? Like, do you want to be writing, talent, was it editing? And what was the fourth?
think crew,
And crew, yeah. So I'm like, for sure writing. I mean, I'm a screenwriter. Let's start from the beginning, and then definitely can help crew. I ain't gonna get in front of the camera and be talented. I had something else on that Sunday, so like editing might be a little tricky. Also, not my favorite bag, but like that writing and that crew for sure. So like, versus like read files, like I'm pulling up with the intention like this is your show, and it's always like respect to whose show it is, who said it is. Like I'm not about to pull up trying to ghost direct like episode of Read Files. Like, for one, I just met you like a week ago. Like, that's crazy. Like, but like I had initial.
You'd be surprised though. If people,
it's like I wouldn't want somebody moving like that with me. I wasn't gonna pull up on your set like on that type of time. And it's like I appreciate that you sent over the script and like you accepted some notes and my intentions on it, my feedback on it. Yeah, let's see how it works on this, and just kept coming back for more episodes. But that's just like he's got the tenacity to get this done because it was how many episodes? Like
9 episodes.
Yeah, you sent me all 9 scripts, and I'm like, bro, got 9 scripts written, and he's about to go shoot them in succession. This is already a feat. Like, let me just pull up the support and help. Like, you just need somebody to hold boom, whatever it is. Like, I can help, but I'm not about to pull up in a creative role, like trying to commandeer your set. And then same for the project with SG is like, she's producing that and I'm helping her produce, but like I knew you were good with that sound and you came through with that too. So a lot of memories. Legit was the first time that we got to like mesh minds on a creative level. It's like cool. We're starting from straight development. Like we are concepting. We're doing some concept work together. We're sitting in this room, laptop synced up, like writing a script together. Yeah. So it was a sense of like, I got to see this through the end. Like I got to see this to the end. I wouldn't jump in and want to be involved and lead it all on your shoulders to take home and like take it to the finish line solo. Like there's a sense of like, let's get this. We all got like equal part ownership in this. Let's make this good product. So it was fun. It was fun,
man. Like, yeah, like I know, like again, like when I say like just build different, just it was like just being able to connect with you on that level. Like that was probably one of my biggest takeaways from doing this. I was like, oh, Brian's dope. I was like, man, listen, if I can have him. Like when I meet people, I was talking to Jeff earlier, and I called myself like the Nick Fury. I was like, I feel like I find my Iron Man, I find my Captain America, I find my Hulk, and I just find them bringing them all together. Let's make the Avengers. And so like when I find my little piece, I'm like, okay, all right, like let's see it. Like they gonna fit in right here, and we're gonna be, really cool. So I was like, I definitely have felt like, I found like a Thor right now. Like
I appreciate. I like Thor, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Thor when he come through with the hammer, man. Infinity War. I
was say you Ragnarok Thor,
man.
Okay,
like, I like
Ragnarok
that.
into Infinity. Yeah, I was 100%.
As long as I'm not loving Thunder Thor.
Oh
cool.
Man, listen, no, not at all. You definitely like we've been making a Stormbreaker, Stormbreaker Thor. Okay. So I was like, yeah, man. I was like, Brian, cool people. And then also it's also big like when I bring new people in, I want to make sure that they gel. Like again, I got the OGs of the Stanleys, Tamaras, what's called Riku, Caitlin, just getting them all together. And it's like, oh, I say, man, you already making jokes with Riku day one. Oh man, you good, man. If you can hang with him, man, he good because he's vicious with the mouth. Listen, you get 2 strikes and it's
boom, 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 rapid fire.
Yeah, get for gab with that one. So definitely, yeah. So all right, so we step on set. Like I said, we had a meeting. We finished writing. We actually finished writing fairly quick. I was able to go get it.
Very surprised. Yeah, it was like, oh, we done? We done? We're like, you sure? Yeah, let's go home.
Let's go home. Let's get rest. Let's prepare. So we step on the set the next day. I think I had a call time at like 11 a.m. And so what was your thought process throughout the day of production?
I put it like this, on any other set, especially like maybe a bigger scale or something, like not for like a 48 hour. I know I would. You're gonna start getting nervous if you don't shoot within the first 2 hours of your call time. But like
100%.
at no point did I feel like we weren't gonna get it done, which is good because like call time was like what 11. We had planned to be shooting by like 12, maybe like 1, wait for high noon to go down. We didn't start rolling until like 3.
3.
Yeah, like 3.
Yeah,
So if
we had a lot of things that just pushed the time.
Yeah, a lot of things
back.
that happened, but like it was cool. I never started stressing. Like I knew at one way or another this thing was gonna get done, and it did. It got done intentionally. It got done as timely as it could have. Like for how long was it? About 5-ish minutes, 5, 6, 7,
like,
6 minutes.
I think it's like 5:36.
Yeah,
somewhere around there. Yeah, almost 6,
somewhere around that. For that to do that in the amount of time it took us to actually film it is like, oh, this is all working according to plan. Like I never got nervous, especially considering like the first thing they told us that Friday when they're giving advice and stuff like
start shooting today.
For your first timers, what we recommend: shoot fast. Write fast and then start shooting as fast as possible.
Yeah, they were like, shoot tonight.
Shoot tonight. Like write your script fast and start shooting tonight. And we're like,
me and both ladies are like, ain't
gonna happen. There's no way we about to start because we didn't finish the script till like 1:00 in the morning.
They were like, just get B-roll. I'm like, but to me, like, again, I think that's a mindset. Again, I'm not gonna. I don't want to say anyone's
because everybody's process.
Every process is different, but for
ours
me,
was chill.
And I'm just like, but that to me, if I start shooting without a proper like, even like script storyline, is like to me, I think that takes away a level of the intentionality.
Where are we going? What's the roadmap with this? I'm surprised that we got like we talked through concepts, we talked through like holes. Why does this matter in the script?
100%.
We did all this like 5 hours.
We debated each other.
We looked at it at about 1:00 in the morning. It was like, we can shoot this tomorrow. All right, everybody go home.
Yeah, exactly. It was. I was like, okay, and then it was like anything else. Like I do trust everyone in the team. Like we can figure other things out. Like as we start really getting deep and we really start letting it marinate and think about it. Because I know, like on the set that day, we were shooting the first scene of like Tamara to younger version of herself, and the next scene we're gonna shoot is the parking lot scene.
Yeah,
and it's like I remember during that time, I just see you because it's an action scene in the park. That's where it becomes an action adventure, and I just see you like you are looking up different animes and all this stuff, and then you come up to me, and you was like, "Hey, is it cool if I direct the action scene?" And in my mind, first and foremost, if you don't know this, man, I don't trust many people. I do not. It has been a work in progress with me trusting people. If you ever need more details on that, ask Caitlin. But for me, it was like before you ever asked, I saw the intention of like where your mind was already going, and for me, I have to be here getting this scene with the Tamara character. I'm like, you know what? First of all, it's 40 hours. You don't have that much time. Like, this is another thing for me to have to go on set and do. And I'm like, Brian's being led off pure passion for this. Like, he's going to enjoy and love this. I was like, you know what? To me, that's more important than it. Like, my vision, I just told you about my crew. I said that him being able to passionately direct this scene, that means more to me than the scene itself.
I appreciate the trust, man. Like the gears just started turning. My whole thing coming in to the project with intentionality was like, just let the creativity flow. Like we don't have a huge budget on the line with this. Like we don't have stakeholders on the line with this. We got to turn it into like, let's just make something that we'll be proud of. And at the end of the weekend, we can say this was fun. I got to try this, experiment with this. Like this is a safe playground to do that. And like when we were writing the action scenes, like I'm having fun writing it and having fun reading it, and I'm seeing it, and I'm like, hey, let's go ahead. I think I see how we can do this, and we can do it quickly. So. Yeah, man, I appreciate the trust. It was fun. Yeah. It was a good time.
It was a good time, man. I saw you having a great time, man. I was like, this man is in it.
I needed that one. Like, because it's always like I said, like for me personally, it's like, I want this to be good. How is it going to come across to the audience? And not that those thoughts weren't in my head, but like, it was also like, let's have fun, man. Like I needed that one. So it was fun to direct.
I also know like one of the reasons I want my set to be, we get shit done and be creative and intentional, but also be fun is because this life is hard. It's hard. It's sometimes it get lonely.
It is a challenge.
And it's a challenge. And it's like having those moments where you can just be like a child on set.
Yeah.
And like that just can remind you, like that could take you through 5 other sets that might not be great. It can also inspire you to be able to do that project that you wanted to do that maybe, you know, and we all are guilty of this, but maybe you've been, you know, pussyfooting a little bit on there like you shouldn't have been.
Got a couple of those right now.
Yeah, right. Listen, same here. And so I'm just very big on like, you know, when I, again, me being Aries, passion is everything. So when I see someone like leading with passion, that inspires me to be like, okay, hey, listen. And in my mind, I don't always have to be the leader in every single situation. I'm a person who I step up to be a leader when I have to. But if I see someone already there, okay, I'll fall back and like, wait, what do you need me to do? Like, what do you need?
That's what a good leader is. You know, that's a trait of a good leader.
Yeah. So when you said you started directing stuff, and you at the time you had went from booming, and I was like, hey, listen, give me the headphones, give me the thing, listen, hey, you got it. Like I'm just going, all right, we're going this way, like let me help. How can I lend myself to now your vision for this action scene?
That was also like one of the benefits of that time that we had on the front end of like being a little behind schedule on shooting was like, well, we're not just going to be standing around like not really doing anything. Like we got to use this time a little wisely. 48 hours is being 48 hours. 100%. So in that time, like even maybe unintentionally, partially intentionally is like, I'm thinking about this action scene. Like, cause I'm also thinking from an AD perspective with the AD background on like, okay, sun goes down at what time? We got to do all of this at what time? Like, we got to get this out. We still have to go over to this parking lot and shoot it. Like, all right, cool. And then, like, me as an AD, I'm always talking to directors, like, come with a plan, you know, come with a plan on how you want to shoot the scene, come with a storyboard or shot list or something. So I'm thinking, like, it just starts happening for me. Like, I'm thinking about what's the shot list? What's the inspiration for the scene? Like, it plays so anime-ish the way that we wrote it. Like, I'm already seeing it. So I'm just start pulling recs. Before I know it, I'm pulling screenshots, accidentally storyboarding. I'm at the point where I'm like,
storyboard. Yeah.
You know what? I think I might have come up with a vision for this. Let's go out and do it. So we showed up and knocked it out.
It came out great. All I knew is from that action scene, I wanted Stanley to slap Tamara with the glove.
That was a great choice.
I just thought it would be like, again, what I was trying to do. A lot of times what I'll try to do with my films is that I have my film feeling like this. And then I want to beat the hit that takes it somewhere else.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you ever look at like, you know, even just look at this film, so Tamara's in her old room, she's seeing on nostalgia. What's the thing that changed her beat? She stepped on one of the dolls. All right, now the beat gets changed. She picks it up, and then literally now, boom, we're jumped into that action. She's driving the car. Or we see her driving. She gets out the car. What's the beat? Stanley coming over to her. Okay, cool. Now they're having this conversation. It seems like Tamara's leading the conversation. Nope, Stanley slaps her. And then now we're fighting. Like, you know,
midpoint turning thing transitions into things getting a little wacky. Like, I didn't see this film going in that direction. And you could tell it pays off because when we screened it, that moment gets the audience reaction. That moment gets the laughter and like the, ooh, what's gonna happen? So it's like, okay. And that's always a reassuring feeling. Like that moment hit what it was supposed to do. So that was a great choice.
It's you know, but again, it's just everyone being together is like, I try to think I have it somewhat of a formula that can kind of make it, but it's, you know, obviously every project is different. Okay, so let me see. Set day was good. And again, I appreciate you again on the Sunday we're editing. You pulled up and you're like, hey man, I don't have much time because I'm going to the film festival, but I can lend this amount of time to you, which again, that is
the clock was on, man.
The clock was on.
We had to get that in by 7:30. I'm like, yo, where can I help?
Then it was like, hey, I'm in this. I'm about like 60-70% done editing the film, but I don't have no music.
Yeah.
So if you can just like, that's gonna take probably like 30 minutes to an hour off of my plate, and you're here, and then you picked out all the songs, great song choices.
I appreciate it.
Like I use all of those songs. I was like,
sourcing for like an hour, just like, this sounds right. Use this for the action scene.
Listen, I would
some options, like whichever one you want to use.
I would argue that music selection for a film might be the hardest thing.
Oh yeah,
like for any videos I've edited just for my client, I might spend 30 seconds actually putting the edit together, not 30 seconds, 30 minutes putting the edit together. It might take me an hour to find the best song and like doing some sound effects.
Pro tip: link up with your composer friends. Who you got? Find a composer
Find a
friend.
composer.
Find your
I'm look.
Ludwig.
I've been looking for my Ludwig.
Find
You
your
know,
Ludwig.
again, I feel like I'm missing my Hulk right now. And that's
Yeah,
my Ludwig.
that's your Ludwig.
That's my Ludwig.
Who just like making music
Just
for
like-
the fun of
for
it,
the
and the
fun of
artist
it.
like, oh, I can make some music for your film. Bet, cool.
Bet.
You were
Cool.
the person
But,
that I was
yeah,
missing.
Exactly. So that's why I'm looking for. I'm looking for Ludwig. I've been telling people that, and I was like, I mean, I feel like him or her, they're gonna just. It's gonna how everything's been so natural. It'll come when it needs to come. As of right now, I think my level of sound design is adequate for where I'm at.
No, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Like it sounded great on that theater speaker. I'll tell
Yeah,
you that.
I see. I
I
mean,
was like, ooh.
I was actually super nervous about the production because what ended up happening is the file size has to be less than 2 gigs in order for when uploading it.
Yeah.
So it's like we shot it in 4K, but I couldn't.
Yeah, I was thought about that.
Yeah, so I couldn't send it in 4K. I had to downsample the size to HD. So I'm like, damn, like how is the HD gonna uphold to this? And I was like, oh,
It looked good.
Yeah, I was like, okay,
projection
cool.
was fine.
Projection, I was like, man, I'm thinking about the sound. Like, man, we got these speakers. And I was like, to me, when it came on, like that was the fears in my mind of like, how is it gonna sound and how is it gonna look? Because
Like,
I
you
saw
just
this.
don't know. You're like, damn, we about to get exposed.
We about to get exposed.
You can't run from it because it's projected on this huge screen in front of me in this movie theater, and everybody is going to see how bad it sounds. But it was solid.
It was solid. It was definitely solid. So it was definitely fun. But so when you got to see, because again, when I got done, I sent it in the group text. So when you were on your phone and you were watching it for the first time, what were your opinions and initial?
Oh man, relief was one. Like, yo, this is crazy. We did that. So after that initial, like, oh, this is crazy, just went back and just it was weird for this one because I'm always so critical and like. Especially like my own stuff as well. I don't like watching my own stuff back because it's hard to get critical. And I just did not have that on this one. Like, not that it's weird. I'm still working through it like now, and it's been weeks. From a place of how can I find what's wrong with it, but like also like most importantly, I'm proud of it. Like I'm proud of the fact that we like none of us have done this before. This is our first time making a film in 48 hours, doing this competition. I'm just amazed that we did it. And then like the script is solid, and like I'm watching a third time, and I'm like, the performances are so good. Like Tamara and Stanley are like really giving it to this film.
I told they ate on this
yeah,
film,
and I was like, man, this is not only is it fun, it's good. And I think like that's that passion part. Like the passion showed from all of us throughout on the film. You can see it, like you can feel it, and it's like we did this in little to no time. Like imagine what we had with like months of like prep and polish.
Exactly.
Like we did this with the time that we had allotted to us, and it still turned out so good. So
good. And then I'm super proud of the messaging.
Yes,
the messaging of how that, because again, watching like when we got to the top 10, I was able to see all of the films, and they were all great. They were all great. I'm not talking bad about anyone's film. I just felt that like for us, we hit these beats of laughter, good action, and great messaging, all at the same time. It all stayed there. And not that these films did or did not do that. It just felt like, okay, cool. We stood up to all of those films in that, and it was like, it's a fair fight.
Yeah,
it's not like I felt like everyone's story was better than ours, or everyone's. It was like, certain things obviously, but then certain things I'm like, hey, listen,
you're right.
Yeah, and one of the big things that the first premiere, someone walked up to me and they were like, your film made me cry, which crazy. Wow. 5 minutes and 36 seconds making you cry that's something. And then on the second day in the top 10, we got one of the loudest like applause at the end of ours. Yeah, you weren't there, but it was like the second one. Yeah. And it was literally when people like the Stanley slap scene was like laughter rolling. People are laughing at this. Then when it gets to Tamara and you see her crying, people are like, oh,
right.
And then you're seeing that, or even when we jump back to her playing with the dolls, like people are getting gut laughing at these scenes.
Yeah.
And then it's going from gut laughter to now like, oh my God.
To take people through this full range of emotions in 5.5 minutes is like we did our job. Exactly. It feels like a fully completed, intentional, thought out project, which is what I feel like we set out to do, and that's a lot to have pride in. Like with the idea and the scale of the ideas, we could have kept it here. Like we could have kept it like
And it would have still been
And it
good.
still would have been good, but it's also it could have been like, well, what do we have to work with? Like, what are the parameters? There's no way we can get a doll that looks like Stanley. Like,
Yeah,
it could have been a lot of like
yeah.
cutting things off from the legs and saying like we can only have this, but like no idea it was too grand, no idea it was too small. We just all put it into this pot and was like, let's just mix it up and see what happens, and then we can streamline it to a way that it makes sense. It just doesn't feel like we're just throwing random stuff at the wall and like this feels like a jumbled mess. Like we can make these ideas make sense, like they all have a purpose, and seeing the way we strung it together and like the beats and like where's the moment where you feel sadness, where's the moment where you feel laughter, like they were all intentionally placed, and that like I said, that's a lot to have pride in.
It was like I said, I'm also very super critical of my projects. And typically, like after I get to the finish line, I'm like, we could have did this differently. I mean, but you don't know what you don't know. You get what you. There's also some things like, oh wow, this came out a lot better than I thought it was. But I would say that out of all the projects I've done, this project, like, there's nothing that I questioned about it. It was just like it was like every single thing hit the beats. I mean, yes, it wasn't a perfect film. There are mistakes I've seen, but I'm like, in that moment, under time, like I get why that, and it's not even a mistake. It's just one of those things that we see because we made it. But it's like outside, I would say this is my most proud project outside of the Refiles, because Refiles is damn near a full-length feature film. And actually on set, it was kind of crazy. On set of the Refiles, I wasn't feeling as great about it. It actually took me getting to production, like post-production, to be like, oh my god.
And that's what I mean. Like it's a lot. There was a lot on you for that project. There's a lot on your shoulders. I mean, it's semi-autobiographical. There's a lot of personal into that. Like I mentioned before, you directing, DPing, like you were wearing a lot of hats. There's no way for you to know how it feels versus like 7:30 p.m. on that Sunday. You're going to see that final product. And this is what it is. You don't have time to go back in the lab and edit this tweak and take this and maybe replace this take. You don't have time for it. You got 48 hours. And I feel like anybody who's done the project, they may attest to that. Like 48 hours, I'm sure a lot of things, many people, even vets who've done this 10, 15 years, they finish a project. I probably could have done this differently. I'm sure, but like you just don't have that time.
Yeah. But even now that like if I thought about like, hey, I was gonna do this, I mean, I might make the story a little bit longer. Right. Like, that would be the only thing. But like I know it hit all the beats. It felt good. That performances, there was nothing. I was like, we all had a good time. It checked all the boxes. So it's like I'm super proud of this. Like it's literally my number 2 film outside of the Refiles. And like you said, the Refiles is just personal. Yeah. It's semi-autobiographical. So it's like, but for us to do a project I feel is like my second best work in 48 hours.
48 hours. As long as we didn't walk away from it like, that was a waste of time. Yeah. I don't know why we tried that. We failed. Like, we don't even have a finished film. Like, I don't think any of us can say that because like it's a full, complete body of work, and it's like
it should be on everybody's reel.
Yeah, so this feels good.
Like when Tamara hit me up, I think I was like 2 days after this. She was like, "Hey, can I use this for my reel?" I was like, "Go ahead, girl." I knew it was like really good. I mean, even I knew it before then, but it's like we all to be proud of it. That's why even like I did all those BTS videos. I wanted to be. I mean, I put it on the internet, but I wanted us all to see just how much fun we were having, and plus the final product. Just, again, that's inspiration. Like every set, I can't necessarily promise it'll be like that, especially if it's not like Mountaintop Studio set, but I do feel like sets along that lines where people are passionate, having fun, and being intentional are the best sets. Absolutely. Like, and I feel like the best quality product comes out of those sets as well.
That is definitely how I try to approach my own.
So I've never been on a super group productions yet.
Coming,
man. You let me know, bro.
There's some things in the works, So when that next one happens, I'll definitely call you and be like, hey, pull up.
Let me know what job you need. I got all the toys. So
for sure,
whatever you need.
Yeah, man. I don't like the sets to feel like, you on those ones where they just feel stuffy in here, and it's like, yo, like, what's up with dude over there? Like, he got an attitude, like. It's a lot going on, create the producers over here tripping. Like, it's a lot where it's like, bro, like, I don't even want to come back and work with y'all no more. And like, that's really like one of the most important things. Like, we could have made a modern classic, but if the set was like terrible, bro, I'm not running this back with y'all. So
Yeah.
like this was definitely ideal, and this is how how it should be.
Man, it should be, man. So I'm definitely looking forward to being a part of some super. Like I said, I love the way your mind works. So I know
appreciate it, man.
I know whatever you cooking up is gonna be it's gonna taste good. That's what I know.
I appreciate
so
it, man.
I'm definitely
coming soon.
you let me know, man. Obviously, we'll be chopping it up. We chop it up every week at this point.
Sure
you
do.
know, yeah. But you let me know how I can help. I sincerely and genuinely mean that, and I'm excited to be a part of it.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
I appreciate you coming on the podcast, man, and just chopping it up with me, man. Of course,
we gotta do this more.
Yeah, no, we will, man. Listen, every project I want to do this for it. So like, as we do more stuff, like, definitely
it's fun talking about, our own and things that we've made, but we can also talk shop too. We can talk, your favorite films. We get into it off camera.
We can get into it. I love that, man. I love that. So man, thanks for coming out to Over the Shoulder, man.
Likewise, man. Thank you for having me.
So you just heard it from, man, the soon-to-be legend, man. Soon-to-be about to drop all the classics. But before we can leave, you know what I got to remind you of. You got to like, you got to subscribe, you got to share, you got to comment. And who do you want to see me have on this opposite side of the seat next time? It could be anyone that I've worked with, man. And, as the list continues to grow and develop, man, who knows who it's going to be. So as I always say on Over the Shoulder, that's a wrap.
Yeah.